A good leg workout should combine a mixture of both strength and power movements. Strength movement will aid in building the leg muscles, making them look more visually appealing. There is also the added benefit that strength training has on improving balance, which is an important component of longevity, especially among the elderly who are more prone to injuries from falling. Power movements such as the vertical leap and sprints will build on your athleticism, which is also an important component to consider when building functional legs, as this skill will transfer nicely over to sport and other performance-based activities. Start off with squats to warm up the legs and lubricate the joints. Slow the negatives down and control the movement. The negative portion of the movement places a huge amount of tension on the legs, which acts as an antagonist for growth, so do not neglect your negatives and cheat yourself out of potential gains. You can be explosive on the way up if you're after a more power-focused workout, or slow and controlled if you're more focused on hypertrophy. Now that the legs are warmed up but not yet fatigued, move on to the most challenging movement of the workout, pistol squats. Pistol squats are a unilateral movement, meaning that each side is trained separately. Unilateral training is important for correcting muscle imbalances and adds a huge layer of difficulty. The added component of balance also means that you are training more than one component of fitness at a time, making it an extremely efficient movement, and important for people like me who could clearly use some work on their balance. Start with your weakest leg first and match the reps you get with your stronger leg so that you don't in turn exacerbate muscle imbalances. Be patient and consistent and your weaker leg will catch up to your stronger leg in no time. Correcting muscle imbalances can often fix long-lasting injuries and unorthodox movement patterns, so it is well worth the time. If the single leg squat is too challenging of a progression, try mastering the lateral squat first and come back to the single leg squat when you feel ready. Move on to performing an elevated lunge. The elevated lunge is a challenging movement. However, due to the balance component largely being removed by having the back leg planted on a raised platform, it is nowhere near as advanced as a pistol squat. Apply all the same principles mentioned previously, such as slow and controlled negatives and training to the full range of motion, as this gives the rear quads a great stretch and can help improve flexibility and functionality when it comes to performance. Keep your body weight centered and try not to cheat the movement by leaning forward too much. This assures tension is evenly placed across the body and refines the movement pattern to target the desired muscles. The next movement targets the hamstrings and is also great for increasing flexibility. Hinge from the hips while keeping the back straight. It is also helpful to look down towards your hands as you progress through the movement so that you don't strain your neck. Go to the depth that is right for your capacity and then return to the top of the movement by squeezing your glutes and hamstrings. If you have the flexibility and want to make this movement even more challenging, stand on a platform and gradually raise the platform as your flexibility increases. With the knees over toes guy currently blowing up and his principles being applied and helping people all over the world, I had to include a knees over toes movement so that you can benefit from the strengthening effect this has on the joints and ligaments. A word of caution though, train to your ability on this one. Shorten the rep range to suit your ability level and only progress deeper as it is comfortable to do so. Push your knees forward and stand on the balls of your feet. You should really feel this in the quads. Come up as soon as you feel a nice stretch. Moving on to the split squat. Keep your torso upright and push evenly with both legs to get the most out of the movement. My legs are incredibly stiff, but if you have the flexibility and your body allows it, you can widen your stance to work in some flexibility training as well. You'll know when you've found the sweet spot as you'll feel a nice stretch while still being very stable throughout the movement and achieving the full range of motion. You can also get a really nice contraction on the tibialis, which is the muscle that sits on the front of your calf, by digging your heel in at the top of the movement as I'll demonstrate now. Again, with any leg workout, you want to throw in a power movement as well, especially if you play sport and aren't just training for aesthetics. The jump squat or vertical leap is a great movement for generating explosive leg power. Swing your arms back at the bottom of the squat, then upward as you reach the top of the movement to generate more force and increase the height of your jump. It is extremely important when landing that you use proper technique. You want to return to the starting position slowly. Don't land flat-footed, as this will transfer too much force directly into the joints and cause damage over time. Don't be put off at all by this movement though, as when done properly, plyometric training has great utility in multiple areas of fitness, such as strength, power, and coordination. It has also been shown to help with injury prevention due to its conditioning effects on joints, ligaments, and tendons. So I highly recommend throwing in at least one plyometric movement into your workout routine and enjoy the benefit. The explosive movements use a lot of energy, so we'll finish off with a less energy intensive movement. Calf raises don't have a huge range of motion, so perform them slowly with a lot of intention placed on contracting the muscle and stretching at the bottom of the movement. For an easier progression, you can do both calves at the same time. I want to stress that you can build a great physique just sticking to the basics and doing them well. However, variety adds some novelty, and often this helps keep the workouts fresh and interesting, which is key when it comes to longevity. If you want to add more mass to your legs, I suggest overloading the movements with some weight. You can get creative and just chuck a few rocks in a backpack if you don't have access to conventional gym equipment, so there really are no excuses when it comes to progressing in your training. Feel free to drop any comments or video suggestions in the comments section below, and hit that like and subscribe button if you want to keep up to date on the new videos I release every week. Cheers, and see you all on next week's video.